to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. God bless you. How are you doing today? And I want to trust God that this video meets you well. This video may not just be too necessary, but I want to discuss a matter. And this matter is something that I have actually had to disagree with some persons over this issue. And that is the issue of, reincarnation, or the story that some persons died. Maybe they died in Nigeria, they died suddenly, and they are found in another city, in another country. Some are even said to get married and bear children, and only, to there is one particularly that I was told that this guy died several years ago, and he died suddenly, and then he went to another city in another country, and there met a woman, got the woman engaged, and married the woman, and they got wedded, and so they began to bear children. So the woman was like, can we visit your people? Can we go to your place? Can we do this? Can we travel? And so after a long time of evading it, and there was no other excuses he could give to the wife, eventually he agreed, and they set on to travel. So they have traveled, they entered vehicle, and got to the bus stop that was closest to his place. And in the village like mine, there are some places that when you stop, then you take a bike. We call it Okada here. You take a bike to the place where you are going to. So I guess that was what happened. So he gave the woman the description of the place and told her to be going, that he would join her. So the woman entered, introduced herself, and the family were like, who? She mentioned the name, and he was still bearing the same name that the family knew him with. And eventually they waited for him to come back. He didn't come back. And so they had to take the woman to his graveside, told her the year she died. And somehow the woman was also able to produce evidence that they got married. She had their wedding pictures and all that. So the guy never came back, and that was how it ended. Now, this story has surfaced in several places in Africa. And I think it's in Africa that you hear all these kind of stories, because it is only possible in Africa. And when you tell people about familiar spirits are real, and they don't want to believe you. I know of a person who died, who was in a cult. That cult, I did something about it some times ago, where the reformed part of it was brought to Nigeria, Africa, by a reverend father, by a reverend of an Anglican communion. And so he said that in that cult, when a member dies, that it is in their custom that member would not be buried with his head. The group, the members of that cult will enter in where the dead member is being laid, and they will remove the head, but there is something that they have molded that will replicate the head. So they will take the head and would affix that thing to his neck cavity, and then it will be like the head, but it's not the head. I don't know how they do it, whether it is with their magical powers that will make people not notice that this is not the head, or there is a way that, because this has been an ancient thing. So if it is about technology was not as good as it is now then, when this, because he was telling this story, I think that was late 80s and all that. So you don't have that the ability to fine-tune things with technology today that will make it look like rich. I don't know how they do it, but he was saying this. I have forgotten the man's name, So, but he said any member that dies, and his family refuse them performing that ritual on him, they will allow the family bury the dead body. But the punishment that they will give the dead body is that they would come back in the night and they will invoke the casket out, command the body to come out, and then the casket will go back into the grave, empty casket, and you wouldn't know that anything happened. So, but that there is a spirit that will enter the dead person, and the dead person will be walking and talking, so that even if you meet them in the road, suddenly you will see people talking. Even the dead person will be talking and walking. You wouldn't know that he's dead, except you have discerning of the spirit according to him, if you are a member of any cult that has the ability to perceive. So you would know that something is wrong, because there will be the smell that this dead person that is now talking will be exuding. Now, this is a story that I have to tell, and we know that as Christians there are so many things that are not biblical, that as long as it is not in the Bible, it is not contained in the Bible, we don't believe it. I think I've told you enough stories, so let me tell you why. Let me show you why I brought this video. Let's read the story. Now, this story is about a certain Nigerian artist who died 12 years ago. He died at the age of 26. His name is Dagrin. Now, his real name was Oladapo Olaitan Olaonipekun. He was popularly known as Dagrin. Now, but recently, funny enough, he was declared wanted in Sierra Leone. Now, the way he died was that his car collided with a stationary trailer in front of Alakara police station around 3 a.m. at Mushi in Lagos. Now, the guy died at Lagos University Teaching Hospital, arising from the injuries that he had, as a result of the crash. And then he died on the 22nd of April 2010 at the age of 26, like I said before. Then was buried on Friday 30th of the same month at the Ebony Millennial Private Vault at Aton Cemetery. Now, the surprising scenario is that in Sierra Leone there was an alleged protest that was so bloody that took place. And so this guy was alleged to have participated in the violent protest. And the police in that country released some pictures of persons that were declared wanted. So now, let me read something to you now. According to LIB, Sierra Leone police released photos of those who allegedly took part in a violent protest last week. Today is August 20, 2022. So, and the late Dagrin photo is on the list. Now, this is everywhere, both on Twitter. A certain Twitter handle user tweeted this. Ajin Yos, who resides in Sierra Leone, also shared the poster on the microblogging platform, and it says the Sierra Leone police released pictures of wanted people who were part of the violent protest that took place last week, and the late Nigerian rapper Dagrin is one of them. This country will always amaze me. You always find wonders in Africa, and this is the list here. This is the picture containing the names of those who happen to be in it, and the insert actually is the picture of Dagrin. This picture here is what you have there. So now, without taking much of your time, why I took my time to explain what I explained is that tomorrow you will begin to hear people that will say, yes, now it's possible. Maybe as he died early, maybe as he died young, his spirit was troubled. The spirit was not at rest because he died too sudden. And so because of that, he has been roaming the streets and probably causing troubles. Now you will hear this, and I said these stories are most likely to be possible in Africa. I've not heard it coming from the white man's country. I've not heard something like this. Maybe there may be, but the truth is that these things are not real. Listen, Saul went to look for Samuel in the place of a witch in Endor. Now the woman was able to conjure up something, and that thing came up, and Saul recognized him, perceived him to be Samuel. But I tell you, what he saw was not Samuel. Even though, he was given the right thing, he was given the right word, and which came to pass, but who he met was never Samuel. It is appointed unto men once to die, and after this, judgment. And even the man, the rich man, the story that Jesus told us about the rich man and Lazarus and Abraham. Now, the Bible said that Abraham said to the man, there is a great gulf fixed. If it was possible for for the dead to actually roam about and come about and tell people, and get married, relate with people again. So if it was possible for the dead to actually come out, whether they died premature or not, brethren, I will tell you, there will be so many of them on earth. Now, that rich man was so troubled about his own brothers on earth. So there wouldn't have been any need for him to be begging Abraham to send Lazarus back to the earth, because he could have gone by himself. Now, why did Abraham tell him there was a great gulf fixed? Even in the land of the dead, there is a great gulf fixed between the people in Gehenna and people in paradise that none can crisscross. So if it was that tight, then how more difficult would it be for the dead to come back from the land of the dead to come and live, mix up with the living? Now, this is why I did this video. I know it may not be so relevant, but it is actually very, very relevant. There is nothing like the dead coming back to live amongst the living again. This earth is for the living and is not for the dead. Once a person dies, he dies and he has gone. If you understand what it means to have a familiar spirit, this will go a long way to enlighten your mind. Well, thank you very much. Let me understand what you think about the video. Whether you agree or disagree, put your comments in the comment section and we'll be reading it. God bless you. Till I come your way again, I want to ask you please to subscribe to my backup channel. I have 2 strikes sitting here on this channel, and by the grace of God, we are combating it. But then I just want to plead with you to subscribe to my second channel, my backup channel. Please subscribe to my backup channel. The End is Nearer Television. The link to that backup channel is under the description area of this video. You will find it there. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, if you want to join our prayer line, our prayer group, please contact me on the phone number that is being displayed on the screen. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till I come your way again in the next video. Till then, from me to you, shalom.